All right, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is no stranger to controversy. He is in the thick of the signal gate row, having put out some strong words to defend his colleague Steve Walls. Also news is his rather infamous Arabic tattoo, which is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Despite all this and more, for Hegseth, it remains business as usual. Hegseth is currently on his maiden official tour to East Asia. He met with the Philippine President Ferdinand Jr., saying that the two countries must stand shoulder to shoulder in the face of the threat represented by China. Hegseth reaffirmed the United States' ironclad commitment to the Mutual Defense Treaty with the Philippines.
A few minutes ago, our President, President Trump, who sent his regards to you as well, thinks very fondly of this great country, is very committed to the alliance that we have, the friendship that we have, the cooperation that we have, and he and I both want to express the ironclad commitment we have to the Mutual Defense Treaty and to the partnership, economically, militarily, which our staffs have worked on diligently for weeks and weeks and months. There is a very real reason why our first trip and our first visit is here to visit you in your great country.
Emphasizing a strong U.S.-Philippines alliance, Hegseth pledged to deploy advanced capabilities to protect America's partner in East Asia. Defense Secretary Hegseth and his counterpart, Gilberto Tedero, discussed prospects of establishing peace in Indo-Pacific as well as in the South China Sea, where Manila accuses Beijing of repeated hostile actions. The bonhomie invited a direct response from China, with its foreign ministry saying that the Philippines should not start a conflict in the South China Sea with U.S. support. Commenting on Hegseth's recent remarks, China maintained that no third party should be targeted amid U.S.-Philippine cooperation.
All along, it is the U.S. side that has been indulging its allies in provocations in the South China Sea, and it is the U.S. side that has repeatedly fabricated false propositions about China's threat to freedom of navigation and overflight in the South China Sea, and it is the U.S. side that has continued to intensify its military deployments in the region with the presumption of undermining regional peace and stability.
Meanwhile, near the U.S. Embassy in Manila, a few dozen demonstrators demonstrated against what they call U.S. imperialism as they pushed for diplomacy over military might. The demonstrators even burnt a mock U.S. flag, saying Hegseth's visit will only fan the flames of war in the region. The Philippines and China have had frequent maritime run-ins in the recent past, and that is, of course, over disputed islands in the South China Sea. Tensions between both the countries have been mounting. In response, Manila and Washington have deepened their defense cooperation since the Philippine President Marcos Jr. took office in 2022 and began pushing back on Beijing's sweeping South China Sea claims. And in recent years, top U.S. officials have warned that an armed attack against the Philippines in the waterway would invoke a mutual defense treaty between the two countries. To enable this, the U.S. has expanded sharing of military intelligence. But what's the larger picture here? Well, given the Philippines' proximity to Taiwan and its surrounding waters, Manila's cooperation for the U.S. would be crucial for Washington should its conflict with China escalate in the future. So, Hegseth's visit and the U.S. outreach is a part of forging a stronger alliance and, of course, having more countries on the President Trump's side. With bilateral military exercises between both countries due in the coming days, which will include the countries' navies and air forces, the question being, will Hegseth's visit make a difference? That we'll have to wait and see.